Aloha shirt psychic, go and grab your lei. His name is Meldor, he keeps our stress at bay. And every week he goes live on the internet to read on all of your political comments. It's the Aloha shirt psychic.
Hello, everybody. I'm Mel Dorr, the Aloha Shirt Psychic. And once again, thanks to Aiden for that awesome
That's a great intro he made. Absolutely great.
little Dixieland kind of.
Yeah.
I've got Miss Sherry, the Raging Cajun, Voices from the Swamp.
Yeah. Raging Cajun is the name of our football team, the Raging Cajuns.
Are you a Raging Cajun fan?
Well, yeah, it's my college. I graduated from there. Now I work there, so that makes me a Raging Cajun. So
there you go, darling. I got to work on my Cajun accent. I used to watch that chef. What was his name?
Oh yeah, Justin Wilson.
Yeah, onion. Added a little onion.
Add some onion to that. We're gonna stir the pot. Gonna put a little bit here and a little bit there, and there's no TH. Everything's with a D.
Oh wow, I'm still got this cold hanging on. I took the day off today, and I think maybe I'll take off tomorrow. It all depends, but anyway, here we are. I'm feeling better than I did last night, and Arthur is feeling a little bit under the weather. So everybody, please send Arthur lots of healing energy and prayers.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So, he has some. His cholesterol is really high, and he's going to have. I don't know if he said he'll go through a stress test or whatever, but
yeah, I think they've got some testing planned, but I'm not sure exactly what it is. I just know that he's seeing a doctor and it's getting taken care of, and so I feel really good about that, and just told him if you need something, holler,
And here we are, and then he's got some prostate issues as well. But I have coronary artery disease, and I had triple bypass surgery,
right,
13 and a half years ago. When was my? Wow, it's been such a long time. It was.
Well, that was like
26. No.
Yeah.
When did it happen? I don't even remember.
It's been a while. I think it was before I met you.
I had it in 2012, I think.
Yeah, that was definitely before I met you. Well, that was like me seeing the nephrologist a little over a month ago, because they kept finding microscopic traces of blood in my urine, and they couldn't figure out why. My kidneys looked good, my bladder looked good, everything looked good on all the tests and everything they did. And so I had started seeing a urologist, and he finally was like, well, I'm sending you to a specialist. I went, well, I thought you were the specialist. He said, yeah, this guy's more special than me, so you're going to go see him. I'm like, okay. And I really like him. He's a really nice guy, very frank, very upfront. He didn't try to sugarcoat anything, which I can't stand. It's like, just tell me what it is so I can deal with it. And while the blood in the urine was concerning, they had done a bunch of tests, and when I went in and saw him that first time, he was more concerned about the level of protein in my urine. And I'm like, well, is it bad? And he said, well, he says, normal is between 20 and 50. He says, if you hit 1,000, you're on a dialysis machine. And I said, okay, well, where am I? He said, you're at 900. And I freaked out. I was like, wait a minute, what? And I was like, I don't understand, because I drink water all the time. Because I've always been, because of the medications I take are hard on the kidneys, I've always taken precautions to drink extra water and whatnot to try to keep everything flushed and going. And he said, sometimes it just happens. It could be numerous things that maybe have caused it, but they put me on some medication, which I went back like a month later and redid the urine and the blood test, and everything came down, looked really good. He was really impressed. The medication seemed to be working, so he called in the script, and the insurance won't cover it. And so he had to call in another medicine that they use as a backup that the insurance companies will cover. And even at that, my copay for it, and I have prescription insurance, my copay was $55
Oh yeah.
for a 1 month supply. It
Oh
was
my
like,
God.
Jesus, I'd hate to think of how much the other stuff
I
costs.
can't. I can't take statins. They caused me to have kidney problems, and my creatinine went way up because the
Yeah, well, and I do take a statin. I take a Rosfustatin
the
because
artery
my cholesterol is messed up.
the
So
artery to my left kidney was a little bit blocked, and so they had to put a stent in, and then that closed, and then they had to redo it. But my creatinine, if I drink a lot of water, it's right around 1.1 or 1.2. Still a little high, but mine got up to 2.6 or 2.7. But it's
oh wow, yeah,
so I took a lot of turmeric, lots of water. I was easy on ingesting protein. I
yeah.
would eat red meat maybe once a week or once every 2 weeks, but lots of chicken. I'd eat that. So my feeling is, I would just say I'm not a doctor, but cyclically check your blood sugar, keep an eye on that. And my feeling is, with diet and everything else, I think you're going to be okay.
Yeah, I don't have any bad feelings about it at all. The medication seems to be working, and he was yeah, I mean, it wasn't just the fact that there was blood in my urine that was concerning them, but it was the fact that I dropped like 30 pounds in 6 months. And my regular doctor was like, how did you do that? And I was like, I have no idea. I didn't know I'd lost any weight, and so I had lost about 40, 45 pounds, and then I gained 10 back. And so now I'm trying to get it to go back down the scale again. And I don't know. I don't know what happened. I don't know why everything got out of a whack all of a sudden, but I was like, oh, well, evidently things went out of whack just enough so that it would bring attention that there was a problem in this area. Let's deal with it. And that seems to be the way spirit works with me. If something's a little out of whack, they'll make something else go a little crazy, and then they start looking and they say, oh, look, this we got to take care of this. And so that seems to be the way they go about it. And I've had several Reiki healers that have done healing on me since that first original batch of tests freaked me out so bad. And so I feel a lot better. And then I got that bronchial infection last week, and I was like, and so, yeah,
Kevin's loving vibration. He's good at Reiki. Anyway, I can't take
yeah,
because I'm on a specialty drug. I have to give myself a shot once every 2 weeks. But
yeah,
from a path that's a lifesaver. It's an antibody and it brings down cholesterol. But it's expensive. When I was on private insurance, I paid $5 copay. Now it's like 150 copay. So
oh,
anyway,
my premium is going up. My share of my premium is going up like a little over $300 a month
wow,
for next year
wow.
because of the crap that Congress is pulling and
know.
in Dumpy Pants is pulling. And it's like,
I'm
thanks.
doing this to my nose. I apologize, but it's still a little bit rough.
Hey,
I don't want to be.
you gotta breathe. You gotta breathe, man.
Here you go. We've got a lot of questions to get to, but let's get some special announcements quickly out of the way. So, Sherry,
Absolutely.
how do they get a hold of you?
For Cajun reading, they can contact me at swampvoices@gmail.com. Swamp
Reading.
Voices, all one word. And just put reading in the subject line, and then I'll get back to you and share what services I offer and what their price is. And then we'll find a date that works and go from there. And I thought I would have it done before the end of summer, and I just haven't been able to work on it. So I'm hoping by the end of the year that I'll finally have a website, or at least a landing page up where people can just go there and schedule a reading, and it's not the back and forth with the email of trying to find a date that works. So that would be nice. And
all right. And I would suggest you all getting a reading from Mademoiselle. Sherry.
Mademoiselle Cherie. Oh,
I would
that's
say
me.
Madame Sherry, but it sounds too much like so. We'll say Mademoiselle Sherry.
Yeah.
She's an excellent. We'll get a reading. Um,
Yeah.
if you want to get a hold of me, uh, there you go, Meldor.
www.meldor.com or
Or
call 847-590-5411.
also,
Yeah.
a few infomercials. I've got my Danube trip coming up in May the 15th. May 10th, I'm sorry. It's going to be Prague, Budapest, well, Prague, Austria, with a stop, all along the way in Vienna. Um, let's see, I forgot a few places. Down to Germany, but we end in Budapest. That's going to be a fun trip. Now, if you book it now, within the next 10 or 12 days, you'll get free airfare and you'll get $200 discount. So you can go
Oh,
on my
wow.
website and you'll see, but please call my office and ask for information and we will send you the brochure. Come with us. I
Yeah.
promise you'll have the time of your life. um,
Yeah.
August 8th, we're leaving for Iceland for 7 days because it's
Oh,
going to
I don't
be
have that one. That's
uh,
the wrong one.
a total eclipse. So call again,
And not just of his heart.
not just of my heart, total eclipse in Iceland. That'll be
Uh,
fun. And then in September, now, Sherry, you can put it up. The
now I can put,
Galapagos, that's the 8th through the 15th. We fly to Quito for a couple days. The altitude in Quito is like 9,000 feet. I was just in Peru and, I get a little dizzy at 13,000 feet. But I think Cusco was more like, 10,000 feet, whatever. No, 11,000 feet. But I think you'll be okay. People will be okay in Quito for a couple days. We're going to see a lot of the UNESCO sites in Quito. And then after a couple days, we'll fly to, I forget where in Ecuador, but we'll get on the ship, and a small ship, very small, and it'll take us to the different Galapagos Islands that we'll be able to visit, and some neat shore landings on zodiacs, and
that'll be fun. Yeah.
it's going to be incredible. So that's where Charles Darwin helped to formulate his theory.
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly.
it's called Origin of the Species. Whether or not you believe in evolution, it's still fun to go see the Galapagos animals. And so that's what's coming up for me. And of course, Benicia in the beginning of November, and I'm excited about that. And so
I don't have a banner for that one.
there you go. And so that's my infomercial. Of course, always Androniki products. Andrew, I think, is in Europe right
And
now. But
yeah, he's still in Europe. I think he's due back this coming month in November. I know I just told him, when you get back, let me know when you're back, and we're going to do another show together. So
the med spa,
he's got some new and exciting stuff coming up for
yeah,
his line. And I'm like, yeah, I want you to come on and talk about that because people are really excited. I actually got an email yesterday that was like, I just wanted to let you know I just got my Androniki in and I love it. And I'm like, fantastic. That's great. And no, we don't get any money off of it. We
no.
just
I'll tell you what I'll do. My psychic light bulb went on. For the first 10 people who sign up for the Danube from YouTube, or one of my trips for next year, hopefully the Danube, because all of them, they're going to be fun. But for the first 10 people that sign up for the Danube from the YouTube show, I will send them, and I'll pay Andrew for this. I'll send them a thing of Androniki products that they can try on their own. So
yeah, starter pack.
there you go. Pay it forward. So the first 10 people will just say that you're signing up, but you have to go on the trip as well.
yeah, you can't just sign up and then back out. You got to go follow through. So
you'll get the Androniki product after the trip is over, not before. And then for my members, I'm starting new membership drives. So anybody that joins the channel for the $9 a month or $9.99 or whatever it is, you have to be a
It's
member for
$9.99.
you have to be a member for at least 3 months or longer. Then you get $25 off of a session with me. So
Ooh, that's a good deal.
there you go. Anyway, so we've got some good questions. We're not taking personal questions tonight, but Sherry's got some things starred. And so let's get started. It said,
All
Moon
right.
Whisperer. I love Moon Whisperer, the name. It said, hi, Mel. Hi, Sherry. Excited you're back. Yay, I'm excited to be back. Will ending the SNAP benefits be the last straw? Is there a chance of it being reinstated in November? And will he do it again in December? I'm a disabled RN who's affected. You know, I heard on the radio today about SNAP benefits in Illinois because that nobody's getting their cards refilled. I guess
They're
they're like,
cutting the cards off on the first, from what I was told.
yeah, I don't know exactly what's going on with it, but I understand that, you know, it's like a card and then it's like a credit card. They just add more credits to it. Or is that how it works?
Yeah, they have, it's like a debit card they get now.
Right.
And so it gets reloaded on the first of every month.
It gets
If you
reloaded.
have money left over from the month before, from my understanding, it just rolls over. You don't lose it if you don't use it. You know, like some people may save up a few bucks out of each month because they got a birthday party coming or something for their kids. So they want to get extra stuff for them. But I heard, and I don't know if it's true or not, I haven't been able to verify it, but I heard a couple of people talking on one of the news programs that they were going to literally turn the cards off on the first, whether if you had money still on it or not, which is just doubly harsh. It's bad enough they're not reloading them, but then that cuts off anybody that might have been putting some aside
Are they
to
not
carry them through.
are they not reloading them because the government shut down, or they're just trying to do away with the SNAP program?
Both.
Well,
Part of the big beautiful bill was to eliminate the SNAP program, eliminate the WIC program, which is women's, infants, and children, that provides milk and cheese and butter and that kind of stuff, and eliminate. They also want to eliminate any kind of Medicaid, and they want to drastically cut Medicare. And basically, what they were wanting to do is pretty much just cut all health care off altogether, and then everybody's on their own. And that's where the Democrats dug in and said, no, we're not going to give you our support. We're not going to sign off on anything
and of course now
until
they're
you
blaming,
put that back in. Yeah.
and of course now they're blaming the Dems for the shutdown, which is really not the Dems' fault. Back to the question about the SNAP program. I was hearing on the radio today, because of the cuts here in Illinois, what's happening is many people are getting together and starting to donate more money and food and things like that to the food banks, so people can go and try to get assistance for that. So
there are food banks that are taking extra monies and donations. There are churches who also offer food bank type services that are taking extra in. A lot of the Democratic governors are reworking their budgets to budget out X amount of money to at least try to cover those people in their state that were on Medicaid or on SNAP benefits, that they can at least get something.
you know, my psychic light bulb just went on as you were talking. You know, here in Illinois, I haven't heard of anything like that, but I've got a funny feeling, a psychic feeling, that Governor Pritzker will initiate something like that in Illinois.
He was one of the front runners for it. Yeah.
There you go. So I do think that, you know, I see many, many lawsuits. I don't think with the swipe of a pen, Trump can just undo it. And my feeling is it has to go through Congress and all that. That's why he
Mhm.
pushed for his big, beautiful bill. But I still see it going to court. And it would probably go to the Supreme Court. And I don't even know if they would kick it back to the states. I don't know how they'll do it, but they'll figure out a way so that people can still get some of the benefits that Trump
Yeah,
is cutting. Um, and a lot of the people that voted for Trump are the ones that are suffering from this.
yeah,
So he'll try to do it again in December. He'll keep trying it. But I think with all of us, I predict with all of us speaking up, with it going through the courts, with what Sherry and I have just discussed going on in the States, it's going to pressure him and his popularity is going to continue to plummet. And when the stories come out about the humanistic stories on social media and the news, thank goodness, that'll come out on the news about how it's affected people, um, that will pressure lawmakers to say, wait a minute, we can't let people starve. Uh,
yeah.
and so I
Well, they've already got Republican House members and Republican senators that are starting to jump ship and join with the Democrats because they're like, yeah, no, this is not going to stand. So I keep feeling like it's going to come down to these people getting bombarded with messages from their constituents that they're going to have to say, okay, look, we got to do something. Right now, I think the biggest problem is they can't do very much because little Mikey is running scared and won't open Congress back up for fear that when he does, he then has to swear in um, Representative Grijalda, who just got elected. And as soon as he does that, she's the vote breaker on getting the Epstein files
well,
released. So,
I see some of those files being released even.
oh yeah, so it's already starting to come out.
But back to these social programs, it's going to seem to get really bad for a couple, 2 or 3 months. But I do see us weathering this storm, and I
Yeah,
still see benefits for people like our friend who's a disabled RN, and many other people, and
yeah.
it's going to affect veterans and all of us. So
I
here,
make $10 a month too much to get it. I had tried to apply for it a while back. And it was like, yeah, you make too much money. I was like, by how much? $10.
all right, here we
I
go.
was like, oh,
Well,
damn
kind
it.
of, I want
So,
to kind of hurry it along so we can get as many questions answered as we can.
yeah,
So Nora Garcia says, "Good evening, Mel. Hi, Sherry. When do you see Cheetolini turning into Cheeto dust?" I love that.
not soon enough. Um,
Uh,
uh, um,
um, I still don't see him finishing his full term in office. I know no, I don't know everything he's got up his sleeve, but with all of the No King's Day marches that I see coming up, I see as many as 50 to 75 million people marching and even more.
well,
Uh,
they said that they had registered just under 8 million, I think, for No Kings. But crowd control people who are used to looking at crowds and estimating what their numbers are, the numbers I'm hearing is between 15 and 20 million that showed up
well,
all together throughout the country.
I see more in
So,
the future, and I see them
oh
happen.
yeah,
I see them happening more and more often.
yeah,
And it's funny that I, I see, even like I said, people who voted for Trump that are going to say, "Wait a minute, we've had enough," and are going to start marching with the No Kings. Uh,
yeah,
voters. I wrote here in my notes, my second light bulb is, and it keeps going off tonight. I wrote a bloodless coup overturning Donald Trump. Now, I don't
yeah,
know how that's going to happen, but it will overturn Trump and the MAGAs. And we talked about this last night. A lot of those MAGA people, after Cittadini is gone, are going to, run back in the woodwork and say, "Oh well, we did it because we were pressured," or they'll come up with an excuse, or just
Well,
won't
there are gonna be a lot of people who are gonna say, "I never voted for him."
right, or just won't
Yeah.
even acknowledge that in fact they were part of MAGA. So after
Well, I pulled a few cards on Nora's question. I just wanted to see what might pop up. First thing I got was the Ten of Wands, which is overburdened, and that's what he's doing to us. He's burdening us. He's overburdening us to the point that we cannot catch our breath. And then
and
I
that's what
got
he
the Ten of
wants.
Swords.
That's what he
And
wants
then
to. He wants to
exactly.
he wants to overburden us so much that people just give up.
Right. That's his goal. And he doesn't realize it's going to have the opposite effect. And then we got the Ten of Swords. So this is him and his people. They're already starting to lose sleep in this. They're already feeling stabbed in the back by it. Their constituents feel stabbed in the back because you were supposed to show up and go over there and make things cheaper and make things easier. And my gas is going up, my groceries are going up, my rent's going up, and my paycheck's going down. What the hell? And then I pull the Judgment card. And this right here tells me everything I keep telling y'all. It's going to get dark, but they're going to get judged for what they've done, and it's going to be better in the long run for all of us. Because
go ahead.
oh no, I was just going to say, because the worse it gets, the better it's going to be in the long run, because it's going to show us where all of the cracks and the holes are that need to be shored up and fixed, or need to be taken out and replaced.
Linda Grindle sent me today that she paid $106 for a 22-pound turkey. And I looked it up here, and for that same brand of turkey, whose name I won't mention, for a 22-pound turkey, it was like $65. So, the same brand.
Depends on where you're at.
It depends on where you're at. So the price gouging has got to stop. But,
yeah.
Back to what you were saying a little bit earlier with Trump, the stuff he's pulling, actually, what it's doing is mobilizing many of us against him. Even people who were for him is mobilizing them against him. So, each time he pulls one of these shots, it's just like a nail in his own coffin.
Exactly. And
once he's gone, and once Shady Vance is gone, the Maybelline Queen, I see an end to the MAGA party. That's going to be kaput. It's going to be done.
Yeah. I mean, it's the biggest thing I keep seeing. Of course, I've shared with y'all about my Christmas vision. I keep seeing the White House empty at Christmas time. Well, if there's a big gaping hole on one end of it, of course it's going to be empty, because nobody's going to be able to live in the damn thing during snowstorms. Tell me about, what kind of sense does that make? But and I didn't even think of that. I heard a comedian say something about what they're going to do when it starts snowing. I'm like, that's kind of a good point. I didn't think of that. Probably because I don't live where it snows. But my concern would be, what are you going to do when it rains?
Well, I'm feeling that
you're going to flood the house out. But
I'm feeling that Washington, D.C. is going to have an extremely cold winter this year. Chicago, too. Amy Warrior Princess says, hi. Do you see Michigan getting another Democrat governor in 2026? Gretchen Whitmer is terming out. Yes, I do. People in Michigan are going to be like, no, we're not drinking any more of Trumpolini's Kool-Aid. So
exactly. No, it's when I read it earlier, when I started, I was like, I heard it clear as a bell in my head. Yes, because they're going to look. Even the red districts are going to be able to look next door and see their red states going down the toilet and fast. And they're going to be like, yeah, no, we don't want that.
Okay. Angie Gutierrez says, do you see Cheeto still in office when the information on the Epstein files comes from overseas? I see him still in office at that point.
Mm-hmm.
But I do not see him finishing his full term. My feeling is, and I don't wish anybody harm, I don't think he's going to live long enough to finish out his full term. And furthermore, I still see articles of impeachment, but I also
Yeah.
see articles of impeachment against J.D. Vance for obstruction of justice,
Yep.
um,
They're all going down.
obstruction of justice and abuse of power.
Hmm.
Uh, my feeling is the Supreme Court is going to rescind the order giving him total immunity, and because they know that they've opened Pandora's box. And
Yes, see, that's something I've been getting, is that they're going to take that away from him.
you said that last night, in fact. And so
Did I? Okay, I'll trust you. I don't remember saying it, but that's what I've been seeing. I did draw a couple of cards on it. I got military plane. That's just telling me that the military is going to be involved in this when it all comes down. And I think we see in the generals, just from some of the rumors I've been hearing, are already, there's talk. Bringing them all together like that was a really stupid mistake, because it enabled them to all have conversations
we're
together.
talking behind the scenes anyway. And
Yeah,
so
but then they brought them all together into one location. You know damn well there was some conversations over a beer. Let's go have a beer after dinner, Then I got a disaster wreckage, because that's what he's doing right now. He's a disaster in the making, and he's wrecking every damn thing that he can get his hands on. And strategy planning, this has got to be on the Democrat side. They have got to get their crap together and start strategically dealing with all of the stuff that's been going down.
And they are growing a set, by the way. Okay.
Exactly. So
Colleen says, do you see Arkansas going blue in the midterms? I see it going purple.
Yeah.
I see it going purple. I guess the question is, will we have midterms? They're going to try to suspend the midterms. They're going to try everything humanly possible. But now all this hoopla about redrawing political lines in some of those states that, like Texas, and then they had the gall to sue California because Texas redrew their political lines, and then they wanted to sue California to keep California to stop California from doing it. What I see coming is some of those states, the red states, will just go ahead and redraw their political lines, but that's going to bite them in the rear end too, because it doesn't matter, because a lot of the people that would have voted for the MAGAs and voted Republican, they're going to say, no, we're not voting that way. So it's going to blow up in their faces. That's how I see it.
Yeah. It's all going to be a big blow up on it's because everything he's done since he's stepped back into office back in January has been one insult after another to the American people, to the point that with each incident, even though we're all exhausted from the constant chaos, we're not seeing people throw up their hands and saying, okay, I quit. Instead, we're seeing the opposite. We're seeing people getting together, getting to know their neighbors, starting to organize, building up their own food banks, figuring out how to protect themselves when ICE comes rolling in. Now you've got ICE brigades that when they start coming in, whoever's on watch at that day at that time, it's like one phone call and it goes out, and the whole neighborhood knows ICE is
here. In fact, I sent something. Let's see here. I sent something. Give me 1 second. Let me take a look. Oh, goodness. And just when I'm trying this, my cell phone stops working.
Of course.
Give me 1 second.
Of course.
The whole ICE thing. Oh, shoot. Here we go. I sent this to Linda Grindle today. It says, I said, I saw it somewhere, but I said, this is one of the things we're doing in Chicago about ICE. And somebody just reported on social media, it says multiple vehicles seen in the 3700 block of West Eddy Street. The person said, I had to run to work, so I couldn't record any further details, but no one was there to warn the neighbors. They were parked on the street. And this went viral. So those are the kinds of things we're doing, the ice watches in Chicago.
Yeah, exactly.
Chicago,
Like,
we are going to thaw ice out.
yeah, exactly. And I saw something today and I haven't had time to be able to track it down and see how accurate it was. But I saw a headline talking about Dumpy was mad at ICE and the DOJ for messing things up and that he just fired a bunch of them at the leadership level.
Well, we
If
know.
y'all know about this, let me know in the chat. But I
Well,
saw the headline, but I was at work and I didn't have time to look it up.
my psychic light bulb just went on again. I think that I intuit that some of those high people high up in ICE that he fired, they're going to come public and spill the beans about a lot of the illegal stuff that Trump is doing. And of
Oh
course,
yeah,
Trump will deny it. But okay, so Laura Wright says, Virginia, I cannot ever pronounce her last name.
I think it's Guffreys, something like that.
Her book, Nobody's Girl, says was published after her death. I think the pressure of all of that is what created her to lose, is what caused her to lose her life to suicide.
Yeah.
It says in the book, there's no evidence Trump did anything wrong. Is this true? Did her publisher change anything? I can't answer that because I have not read the book. All right.
Yeah, I haven't either.
I do think the implication is there, and I do think it's going to be damning for a lot of people. But I haven't read the book. But it's not going to bode very well for the people in the Trump camp. I can tell you that right now.
Yeah, I know. I saw a couple of interviews with the lady that wrote the book, who met with Virginia and then wrote the book and put it together. And she said someone asked her about that there wasn't any specific things pointing to Trump. And she said, well, she says there were insinuations,
Right.
but Virginia didn't see it herself and she didn't deal with him herself.
Right.
So she didn't feel comfortable naming him simply because she did not service him.
Right.
And she did not really, I mean, she heard rumors, people talk, but she never had anything more solid to back her up. So she just left it out. So
I think the innuendo is there without naming
yeah,
him. That's what
right.
All right. Laura Wright says Trump was just filmed walking in a room with the new prime minister of Japan. He looked out of it and walked off and left her and seemed disoriented. What happened? Well, Americans noticed this. Laura, they're noticing it already. I mean, the stuff he's doing. I still think he's having small strokes. I do.
Disappointing outcome. Yeah. Oh, definitely. He's definitely having mini strokes. I saw one of the there's a group of the heart doctors, I can't think of their names right now, that have gotten online. I don't know if they're working through Midas Touch, through their organization to help push them out a little bit more, but they were talking about he's exhibiting all the signs of having massive mini strokes, one after another, and you can see it in the drooping of the face, in the can't keep his head straight, can't walk in a straight line, and added to that, most likely severe dementia or Alzheimer's of some sort. That's just making it worse.
Ann Hopeland says, hi, Sherry, love you and love your wisdom. Yay.
No, thank you, Ann. That's so sweet.
It's very sweet. All right. let's see here.
Y'all go sign up and subscribe. I'm almost to 10,000.
Yay, we got to get
I'm pushing for my 10,000 mark. I want to hit 10,000 by the end of the year.
we got to get straight at 10,000 by Christmas. How's that?
Yes, that'd be a good Christmas present.
Nora Garcia again. Do you see anyone releasing a book on Cittadini to talk about his corruption? Yes, I see many.
Oh, yes. I see many books.
And Trump will do what
many books.
he always does. Sue, try to tie it up in court, but it won't work.
Yeah.
Now, normally,
he's not going to be here to tie them up in court. So,
well, his estate or whatever. But now, normally, we don't do personal questions like this, and I don't like to do medical questions. I'm not a doctor, but I'm going to answer this one. Sean O'Donnell says, "Will I get my kidney transplant soon?" And I hear the answer, yes. Spirit shows me the number 9, so it could be 9 days, 9 weeks. I don't think it's 9 months. Could be the 9th of the month, but it's like in the middle of the night, I see a call coming through, and boom, they'll have a match. So
I'm getting it'll happen in 2025. So
okay, there you go.
That's just a couple of months left. Okay. That's what the pendulum says. So
let's take a look. Oh, I like this one. Oops, let me see if I can get this one here. It's Sue Meyer says, "Hi, Mel, Sherry, what happens when really bad, evil people die? Do they have to feel the pain and account for each person they have harmed? Thanks." Yes, they do. And then after all of that, then they just cease to exist. It's like nothingness.
I like that thought.
That's what I see.
I mean, I've not really delved into that aspect of things that much. What little bit I've understood is that while it's not like you're going to immediately go to hellfire, brimstone, and damnation, you're going to go before whatever's in charge, and you're going to do a life review, and you're going to have it all pointed out to you, what you did and how you hurt people, and what happens after that, I don't know.
It's not hellfire and brimstone, but all of the pain and the hurt that they did to each individual.
Right.
They have to feel 100 times over. And so think about that, like people like Trump and all the people he's rounded up and put in concentration camps, or the families he's torn apart, or the people he's letting die and suffer and hunger. He's going to have to go through all of that 100-fold for each person that suffered because of his decisions.
Yeah. They're gonna have to face it in their afterlife.
After he suffers all of that, he will cease to exist.
And that works for me. I have to put this up. ICE, Indefensible Criminal Enterprise.
I like that, Raymond.
Thank you, Raymond. And then I love what Sandy put. I have been using my GPS reporting icy conditions.
I'm going to get a t-shirt that says, I see ice melting. Okay. Here's one. Pamela says, "Hi, Mel. Do you ever see Indiana going blue?" I see it going purple, but not within the next 2 or 3 years. I don't. Well, they're redrawing their political lines, but I've still heard that it's not going to matter that much in Indiana because, they have a super majority of Republicans or MAGAs in their House and Senate. But I see a lot of those Republicans in Indiana going independent. I don't know if they'll go Democrat, but they'll go independent, and they're not going to vote. They're going to start speaking up about their governor and Trump shenanigans. I'm telling you, a lot of people in red states are.
Well, and I mean, I know with my own state, I'm in a deep red state that is run by MAGA governor, MAGA House, MAGA Senate. We're inundated. But there are a lot of Democrats and independents that live in this state. And it's just that we've been gerrymandered out of being able to vote in our candidates. And every time we manage to get a district where we can have an independent or Democrat put in that position, well, the red hats knock themselves out to try to figure out how we're going to take that away and integrate it into more red districts. For states like mine and other states where it's just so overwhelming with red, is we gotta, and because of the gerrymandering and all that's going on, we've really got to make it a ground game of getting a good candidate at least running for that district, and then going out and fighting like hell to try to get their information out there so that they can get elected. That would really make some major shakeups, is if you start seeing really red districts in cities suddenly voting Democratic and putting in a Democratic or an independent leader.
I see
Um,
people in Louisiana, that governor you all have. Well, that's a perfect example of voter apathy. People just didn't get out to vote. But
right.
I'm seeing in Louisiana, he's only going to be a one-term governor. And then after
Thank
that, I
goodness.
see a Democrat coming back into office down there. And
Well, I know, just keep going. I'm sorry.
I see a lot more like townships or towns electing, on very local levels, more Democrats. Uh, and it's a grassroots movement that'll build a momentum in Louisiana. And that's what I see in this country, a grassroots movement that's already begun big time, that will turn over Donald Trump. That's a grassroots movement, and it's really gaining impetus all over. And I see the same thing in Louisiana.
Yeah, I mean, it's like so many. I mean, I after the governor's election and our governor won, um, it was amazing just chatting with people on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter back before it became X. Um, it was amazing how many people didn't even know there was a Democrat running against them.
Right.
They had no clue, because he didn't have the kind of money and backing that the Republican candidate did. Our state Democratic Party did not get behind him and really push him and whatnot until like days before the election. And it's like, too little too late. Where the hell have you been? And it was very discouraging for a lot of people down here who are Democrats and are independents, who were like, I'm not giving any more money to the local DNC, because we don't know what they're doing with it, but they're not supporting our candidates. They're not helping to find candidates to run and then give them the support to get out there and get their names out there so people even know that there's somebody running against the Republican. I mean,
Right.
if nobody knows you're running, how are they going to know to vote for you? So,
We have Kathy Reagan's in the house. Hi, Kathy. I think it's
Kathy.
her birthday. But there's something that she said here, and I do want to just take a moment to send our love and support to our brothers and sisters in Jamaica, because that Hurricane Melissa hit. Don't
Yeah,
nickname Mel, you all. Hurricane Mel.
it made landfall around 3, 4 o'clock our time, Mel. I think it was.
I read it's supposed to have winds up to 185 miles per hour.
Yeah,
So that is going to be a level 5.
yeah. It was a Cat 5 when it made
And
landfall,
I
and it
still think,
had.
I still think we're going to see hurricanes that would even go above that in level 6.
Oh yeah.
Climate change. But let's send some energy and protection to our brothers and sisters in Jamaica. Unfortunately, many places in Jamaica have a lot of poverty, and their houses aren't hurricane
Yeah.
proof. Many of their homes aren't, and this hurricane is going to do massive damage there. As much as I hate to say it, um, it's almost like when that hurricane hit Tortola, British Virgin Islands, and Roadtown, the little capital, was just decimated. So our our hope and prayers go out to the people in Jamaica, and hopefully that they found shelters and will have safe places to weather the storm.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, as somebody who's been through more hurricanes than I can count, I've grown up with them. I've lived through 3 Cat 5s where we did not leave. Um, and I think back now and think, thank God we survived it. But when you're on the mainland and hurricane, typhoon, depending on which ocean it's coming off of, is coming to hit, you know it's coming. And you can pack up and you can drive away and get out of the path of destruction. If you're on an island, like these little islands down in the Caribbean and everything, where are you going to go?
Right,
You're on a freaking island. And after a certain point, planes are not flying, boats are not boating,
right,
simply because the air and the water is too dangerous.
right.
And people aren't going to risk their life for it. And
They
so
have to
you're
have
stuck.
protective shelters to go to.
Yeah. Well, on Jamaica earlier, I was watching Ryan Hall, y'all, for the weather. And they were reporting that one of the it was either the hospital which is built for hurricane strength. It's like a big hospital there in Monterey Bay and or Montego Bay or whatever the hell the name of it is. And it got its roof ripped off,
Right,
and people were like, in the chat saying, "Oh my God, what happened to the people?" And whoever was reporting was like, they've got them protected and they're trying to move them, but it's a little hard to move patients
right,
in the middle of a hurricane.
right.
So um and it's just, there are a lot of people down there who are reporting and recording on these storms that put themselves in harm's way so that we know what's going on. And um it can be scary, and as night comes in, it gets even scarier because then you can't see what's coming.
Well, I foresee
Um,
a lot of those hurricanes, 185-mile-per-hour winds sustained, more than just gust, hitting our coast as well, specifically in
yeah,
Florida and along the eastern seaboard. So, we're not immune from those.
right.
Uh,
Well, they were saying that 185 sustained winds, but they were talking about in the eye, that first ring around the eye, which is the strongest winds. They were saying it was 200 plus mile per hour gust. Now,
what can
I
survive?
don't know if they were able to document that or if that was just guesses by the meteorologists
Well,
that
we're
were
going
on
to see
air. So,
storms. We're going to see storms like that here too.
oh yeah,
Okay.
I thought it
Let's,
was going to happen this year, but
well, if not this year, well,
we still
hurricane.
got a month to go. So.
That's right. Okay, Vanessa G, real quick. What does the Secret Service think of the people they're pulling security for? I feel like, well, their job is to protect, the president and whoever it is. But I see at the very top, there's a bunch of high-level people that can't stand Donald Trump and are thinking, what are we doing? And I see a lot of them taking early retirement because they don't want to have to deal with it.
Yeah. Uh, if it's somebody that they like and they support, they are naturally going to be a little bit more enthusiastic about their job, as opposed to someone they're hired to protect that they can't stand and don't agree with anything they say. Not that they would risk that person's life, but it would be understandable to say, yeah, they're not going to give 100%. I mean, and this goes back to 45's first term. the Secret Service that was assigned to his daughter and son-in-law, who lived like a block or two away from the Obamas, they would not allow their Secret Service agents to come into the house to use the bathroom.
That's terrible.
The agents had to go to neighbors' houses and knock on the door and ask, could we use the bathroom?
I would
And
have
the neighbors would
cooked them a meal. I would say, come in, here's the bathroom, do what you got to do, you know. I think there are a lot of those agents that would be like, what am I doing? You know, I'm going to jump in front of a bullet for this person. And I think a lot of them are thinking, you know, I respect the office of the president of this country. I do not respect the person who's in it.
right.
And I refuse to call him president because I don't think he is.
Right. And I think that's where a lot of government service people who've been doing a government job for a very long time, and they may not like the person that's in office, but they respect the office and they still do their job to the best of their ability because
they
they
also
believe
do it
in what
for
they're doing.
they also do it for the American people.
Exactly. And
The Secret Service. I just put this up, Julie. She said, I need prayers. Just found out my artery transplant from my third aneurysm, and I may lose my leg. I'm seeing
oh,
it
Julie,
for the 20th. So everybody, let's all please send healing energy and prayers to Julie that they're able
absolutely.
to take care of this without her losing her leg. Julie, you've got our prayers, and please know that you have our love and our support. All right. Here, I like this. Everybody wants to know what we can do. Help support our local food pantries, you know,
Yeah.
let our voices be heard.
Volunteer to go into the soup lines and serve food to people who
You know
come
what?
through, you know?
It's sad that we have to shame our politicians into action, but if we have to shame them into taking actions to help the people, that is
To
what
do it.
we'll do.
Yeah.
She said, oh, wait. Julie said, sorry, meant to say transplant has again failed. Okay.
Yeah.
So, Julie, here we go. We got time for just a few more. Okay, this is a good one. Eleanor Jones said, hi, Mel and Sherry. Going to Germany. Oh, Deutschland, sehr schön. I said, Germany is very pretty. In December, will they let me come back to the USA? I'm scared. Okay. You can't be fearful of everything you hear in the media. All right. You know, I've heard a lot of hoopla about people traveling overseas and they don't like Americans and blah, blah, blah. That's just simply not true. When I was in France, you know, I have to say that the French people were absolutely wonderful. You know,
Yeah.
there's a few bad apples everywhere, but I didn't walk around acting like the entitled American. I was like, hello, how are you? Bonjour, bonsoir at night. Oh my goodness, you know, they treated us so well. And, you know, coming back into the country, I travel a lot. I never worry about coming back through customs because I really don't have anything to hide. So
Yeah.
my feeling is your trip to Germany in December is going to be fabulous. You're going to have a wunderbar time. Just dress warm because it gets cold. Make sure you see the Christmas market, specifically the one in Nuremberg. That's really neat. That's where they all originated from. And I don't see any problem with you getting back into the country whatsoever.
Yeah.
The only problem is that because with the shutdown, some of the lines in customs are really long. But you know, you're not going to have any problem as far as being let back in. I don't see that. So have a good trip.
Well, real quick, we got Aiden in the house. Aiden is here now. And we got Lisa Foster in the house. She's probably been here for a while, but I didn't see her until just now. And so if you want to do another question, Mel, I'll let you go in and look. I'm just starring stuff. So
Um, people say like, here, Dion Pryor, if you go overseas and have criticized the president online, I would take a burner phone. You know, I've I've got how many subscribers I've got, I don't know. But I
A
mean,
bunch.
I I haven't had a problem coming back in. Um, I'm TSA approved, and I also have, I forget what it's called, world entry. I forget what it's called, but when we go through customs, it's just facial recognition, and that's it.
Hmm.
Go on. Um, and I think a lot of those custom agents, like at O'Hare and other international airports, are too busy rather than worrying about if somebody said something negative about Cheetolini. I know it happens. It does happen. And just, be cautious. But here again, don't play into the fear. You can take a burner phone if it makes you feel better, but don't be afraid to travel abroad or
Yeah.
to come back home, because if they were detaining everybody that said something about Trump, trust me, they would need a gazillion more agents. And with this government shutdown, they're not going to detain people like that. They don't have the people power for it.
Exactly. Excuse me. That
Okay.
one snuck up on me.
Let's see here. Maybe we got time for a few more. Um, oh, we talked about this last night a little bit. Sheila Treasure Finder. I like that. Will there be any repercussions to any and all the corporations that donated to raising the East Wing of the White House? Yes.
Yes,
We're going to boycott them.
absolutely. It's already starting. It's already started. There are already people who are releasing the list of who funded this. And there are already people who are canceling their subscriptions or not going to shop there. I know there's a shopping blackout between Black Friday and like the second week of December, where everybody's making a pledge to not go to the stores for anything. And that's good in theory, but if you have kids to feed and stuff like that, you're going to have to go to the store and get groceries and whatnot. I mean, um, it's maybe not go buy any major purchases, but um,
I mean,
oh,
turkey's so expensive. I'm just like, then don't buy a turkey for Thanksgiving. Use chicken, use something else. I mean, if enough people, just like when the price of chickens went so high and people stopped buying chickens, guess what?
yeah,
Prices came down. Remember that?
real fast. And I try not to knock Biden because I know he walked into such a mess when he took office in 2021. Um, but I think one of the big mistakes they made with the corporations was that they didn't make it mandatory for them to go back to pre-COVID pricing once they had a handle on COVID. They
Right.
let them keep the high prices and let them keep hiking prices up at every little sneeze and cough that somebody had. And so it's just emboldened them to just keep on keeping on, I mean, it's like,
Remember that too shall end at some point, a lot sooner than later. Um,
exactly.
Amy Warrior Princess says, "Thank God I still have zero cost for my premiums in Michigan because my physical and economical issues, the state of Michigan is paying for it," which
Yeah,
tells me that that's why Michigan is going to elect a Democratic governor, because if
right.
a Republican, they're going to be saying, but look at what they did to healthcare. Look at what they did to this. Look at what the MAGAs did to that. And people in Michigan, specifically in the Detroit area, are going to be like, no, we don't, nobody wants their premiums to go up or prescription costs to go up.
I heard a woman GOP MAGA person. I don't know what position she holds. She was up there with MAGA Mike and all of that group. And she was talking about the fact that uh, it's the Democrats' fault that this happened, that happened, the other happened, and people started pushing back on her. Like, how is that possible if y'all have control of everything? The
Okay.
Democrats don't have control of any of the houses or anything. So how are they responsible? Um, and and she kept using the excuse of, well, they refused to sign the bill because they were wanting to give all this free health care out to illegal immigrants. Okay, again, illegal immigrants can't get health care unless they go to some insurance agent and pay for it outright
Correct.
themselves.
Right.
They don't get Medicaid, they don't get Medicare, they don't get any of that.
That's just all the propaganda that Trump has put out, because a lot of people that I know who are here, they don't that don't have status, and they have businesses, and some, are hard workers. They clean houses, they do landscaping. They haven't committed
Yeah,
crimes, but they don't have health care insurance because they can't afford to pay for it. So they go without it.
exactly. God forbid if one of them falls and hurts themselves, or one of their kids gets sick, or
They can't even
you
sue
know,
the employer because they don't have status.
exactly,
Okay.
exactly.
So we're going to have to start wrapping it up. Um, I'll end it by saying, in November, I don't want to say protest. I want to say peaceful gatherings,
Yeah,
because I don't want to give that protest energy. I want to say peaceful gatherings, for us speaking up against what's wrong. I see
stand
record
up for your rights.
I see record number of people protesting, I mean marching in November. I don't know the exact dates, but we will let you all know. Uh,
Yeah,
Ann Berger says, I'm asking for prayers for my good friend. She's in the hospital with an infection in her lungs and hand and sepsis. She is on IV antibiotic drip. Everybody, please send prayers for
lots of healing prayer for Annie's friend.
Andy's friend. Lillian says, Arthur, when are you going to Egypt? I didn't know Arthur was going to Egypt. I was thinking about doing a trip there in 2027 to see the eclipse, but the problem is, it's when the eclipse is happening in Egypt, it's just too hot. It's like
Yeah,
115 or degrees, and I won't, take people there in that kind of hot weather and have them risk a heat stroke or anything.
yeah,
So,
exactly.
okay. Um, Sherry, thank you so
You're
much.
welcome, welcome, welcome.
It's always a pleasure to have you on. And normally Sherry's pulling the strings behind the scenes when Arthur and I are on.
Today I did both.
You always do a wonderful job, and I appreciate your wonderful.
Thank you, sir.
You know, I'm sorry I interrupt a lot, but I keep things rolling.
Hey,
But
when we get a hit, we talk. That's just the way it goes,
me too.
So
You know what?
and,
People got to tell me, Mel, be quiet.
I interrupt a lot myself, and I don't mean to. It's like I know if I don't get it out, it's going to be gone in 10
You know
seconds,
what?
and I'm
And
gonna lose
that's why
it. So,
people say to us, we talk over each other. We really don't. It's just when it hits us, you're right. You got to get it out, because if you don't, you forget. I mean, it goes away.
exactly. Yeah, it's like boom, boom, and it's like I don't remember what I was going to say,
I know it goes quickly.
and that's irritating. Not just for those watching, but it's irritating for us because whatever it was that was important in the moment, spirit gives it to you, and if you don't speak it, it's gone. At
Uh,
least that's how it works with me. So
let's see. Teresa Spriggs, thank you for the sticker, the super sticker. Says, can you do a reading on this? Bonino, who is the head of Homeland Security, is taking over. Who is taking over instead of ICE? I don't.
Oh, Dan Bongino.
I don't get the question really. It says who's taking over instead of ICE.
Yeah, I'm not. Like I said, I heard something earlier when I didn't have time to research it because I was at work.
Yeah, I didn't either.
I mean, I heard something earlier about Trump was pissed with ICE and whatnot, and was firing a bunch of folks. So
he's firing a bunch of people at the top of ICE. So maybe this.
and isn't Bongino Isn't he like second in command at the FBI? He's one of
He's head of
Crazy Eyes' friends.
Homeland Security or something, but I don't.
Yeah, something like that.
He takes over ICE. I don't see him lasting long in that position. And we had said earlier on tonight, and I had said before, my guides had shown me that a lot of the people at the very top of ICE, Trump would let go, and many of them would come forward and then speak about the illegal things and orders that the Trump administration had given to round up people.
Right.
So there's going to be a lot of leaks coming out about these people that he's firing. They're going to come forward. I'm telling you, they're going to come up. There's some damning things more things coming out about these illegal roundups. So people, I mean, I can see the administration, people starting, if people think that there was a lot of leaks during his first administration, you ain't seen anything yet. It's going to be leaking like a sieve.
Exactly.
So
Exactly. Like running water through a strainer. It's just going to come right back out.
Celtic here, are we doing Iceland again? Yes, we are. We're doing it August 8th of 2026. And that will be a trip to see the eclipse. We won't see the northern lights then because it's daylight, probably 2 hours. But anyway, on that happy note, Sherry, how did they get a hold of you?
swampvoices@gmail.com, and you can get a hold of Mel with www.meldor.com or 847-590-5411.
And I just have to say, Sherry is an absolutely wonderful human being.
Thank you.
I'm just so happy that I met her, and she does a great deal for the psychic community, and she's just a joy. And so everybody get a reading from Sherry.
Now you're going to make me blush.
Arthur paid me to say that. No, he didn't. I'm joking. All right, my dear. You stay well. And Sherry, on that happy note, I'm going to let you do the outro.
All right, guys. Y'all have a good one. I'll see you tomorrow night with Sisters of the Mystical Tarot. We will be on my channel. I forgot I'm hosting tomorrow night. Okay. So you'll be on my channel tomorrow at 6 o'clock Central. Bye.